Hello guys and girls, Screezilla here, I hope you're all well, and patch 1.71 is now live on the servers. So, let's hop into a game in the D4y 2, the new Japanese dive bomber slash attacker. Now, I'm actually going to do a full video on this plane later down the track. This is just a bit of a small video, so to say, a short video just to let people know that the patch is out. Also, just have a little bit of a chat, really. So the patch is now live, importantly. So that's big news. We have 1.71 out, so that means we've got ERA. And I should not have done that, because I alt-tabbed to move something, and I forgot that alt is my rocket key. Well, that was good, wasn't it? Yes. We have ERA in the game. We have new tanks in the game. I've not played high tier tanks yet. I'm kind of dreading it, in all honesty. So I will let you know how that goes when I actually do it. But I've got a feeling that it's going to be very painful. So I'll let you know how that comes. Now, the D4y Susi, or Comet, also the allied reporting name was the Judy, much like the Zero, that was the allied name, not the actual name of the plane from the Japanese. The Comet was also given to it by the Americans, I believe, due to its tendency to catch fire. It was a bit of a later war name given to it, because many of these were used in kamikaze roles. It was a well-known plane for that, and one of the defining factors of this plane was the fuel tanks. As you can see, they're central lined just behind the pilot, would often catch fire from incendiary rounds from AAA rounds. And, well, it was common when it was going down to go down in a big plume of fire and white smoke, and it looks like a comet coming down towards the ship. Now, don't let that put you off this plane, because it's a relatively good little attacker, and it does give the Japanese some much needed rockets for ground attacking, but yeah, in all honesty, they're not great rockets. As you can see, they are relatively small rockets, just 10 kilograms. They're not going to be something that's going to change the world or make things completely different in game, but it is nice to have that. Now, there's also been some interface changes as well. And that's probably the thing that I noticed most when I first logged on. There are quite a few little interface changes, so that will make things a little bit different for you if you're used to playing with the standard interface. We're going to come in here nice and fast, we're going to get nice and low, try and avoid as much AAA as we can, and we're going to fire a rocket off. And we do nothing to the cargo ship. So that was 2 rocket hits and nothing to that cargo ship. Now, our engine is pretty buggered here, so we're going to try and get out of dodge and try our best to get some, we'll get back home basically, but we have a few BTDs. There are 3 of them, that's quite odd, that's quite a lot of them. Somebody's going to have fun there. So we will try and avoid contact with those. God, the machinist has just absolutely hit the luckiest spot in the world there with those planes. So other new things, well, we've got new voice lines. So that's also something interesting and new. Don't even know if I'm going to make it home here. I'm in a lot of problems right now. That AAA really did a number on my engine. As with most Japanese planes, this thing lacks armour, it lacks a self-sealing fuel tank. So it's going to be an interesting plane to fly. I don't see it being all that popular. But I see it being used a little bit. But I don't see it being the most popular of the Japanese attackers. I don't even think I'm going to make it home here. I'm basically just absolutely gunning it as much as I can to try and get some speed up. I guess we could try and get some altitude, so when that engine does die on us, we can hopefully glide down. But we are lacking power as well. This engine's not going to last much longer. We've only got about 4 kilometers to go before we reach the airfield. So we're going to try and climb as much as we can, and then probably going to glide a bit when the engine conks out in a few minutes. Now we've got a fair amount of enemy planes around us. I'll try and get some speed up here. Might just make it, you know. It's going to be very hit or miss, and we're probably going to get taken out by one of these planes that are circling the airfield, but we might just make it. So yes, the patch is now live, so we have some interesting things in the game to play with. This is going to be a absolutely awful landing, so I do apologise for anyone out there that's grimacing right now, because this is a really awkward landing. But any landing you can walk away from is what you want. There we go. Safely on the ground. There we go. Don't know if we're going to live very long down here. And our engine has died, so just in the nick of time there. That was very close. So yes, so everything's in game now, from 1.71. I need to give tanks a bit of a try to see what they've done to nerf the CAS spam, see how that works. I also need to check out this, because this is a whole new feature for us, and this is the main reason I'm playing this plane today, is because we have our rear gunner. Now this is going to make gunning a little more interesting, especially in sim mode, because it takes away that advantage that planes with a rear gun has in sim mode, simply that you can play it in third person. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the meta of the game in simulator battles. I haven't checked to see what planes have what yet. Of course, multi-gunned planes, anything with more than one gun at the back, is not going to get this feature, of course, because this is purely a single rear gunner feature. It's a bit too hard to implement it for every single gun in a plane, and of course it would put you at a real disadvantage trying to gun a B-17 or a Lancaster with only, you know, the option of using one gun. So we're going to try and get a little speed up here. Now, an interesting little thing I noted was the rear gun on this is 7.73mm, I think, when it should be a 7.9, as P51 is going to come into us, I reckon. Apparently we have a repair in progress there, that's interesting. So anyway, A6, P51 is attacking a guy on the runway. Now we're not going to catch him up here, we don't have that speed. Although this plane does actually have the same engine as the um, BF109. It's got basically a inline Mercedes engine built to specification by the Japanese. Um, the later variant gets a nice. Now do we go head on here? You've got a hit. Okay, there we go. The later model actually gets a nice little radial engine. So this A6M3 is going to have a real tough time. We can't really do much to save him, but we're trying our best. Hopefully he can turn back and bring him on us. Oh, he is down. So it's just this plane left now, so what we can hope for is we can actually maybe get a head on here at 500 meters, launch our rockets and possibly hit him with the exploding rockets. We don't really have much else that we can do in this situation other than also playing bait. We're not going to catch up with him in speed. We don't have that speed advantage. We're a relatively heavy all-metal plane with a decent engine but relatively underpowered. We're going to throttle off here, just let our water cool down a little bit. So yeah, I found this plane's been relatively okay, in all honesty. It's not too bad, but it's nothing special. You have to unlock it. You don't really have an option. So people will use it, but I don't see it being a plane that's in constant use as a favourite, just because it just lacks some of the punch. At its BR as well, it's quite a high BR for a plane that lacks some of its it lacks in the ability to really do much. You have the rifle caliber machine gun rounds on the front, but they're not really gonna do too much, in all honesty. The rockets aren't great. You're better off taking bombs, but at least you do get some rockets for a change. Now we've got the landing craft coming out soon, so we're going to go and attack those in a minute when they move away from the fleet a bit, because we need to we can't get too close to that fleet because the AAA will absolutely wreck us again. Now I'm pondering letting a few of them land and then rocket attacking them then, but we'll see how we go. There's a nice bunch there that we could attack. Now the P-51 is coming in on us, it looks like. So let's drop down. Now it's a very manoeuvrable plane. That's one big advantage of this thing. It has got very good turning. Now he is zooming in to attack Fox there. Well out of our range of attacking. He's the last guy on their team, and he is just going for the easy kills, it looks like. Hopefully this guy will turn fight him and actually get him at a disadvantage. We need to scrub off his energy, of course. But it looks like he's just going to start climbing again. He's just going to boom and zoom us. So let's get the rockets on target. And again, don't really do much with those. It's the trouble with these rockets, they're so small. Being such a small rocket, they don't really do much. But one good thing is we do have guns, even if they are slow firing, very poor rifle caliber machine guns. That is all we've got there. So yeah, we are now jammed, and we are out of rounds, so let's head back for another landing. Um, as I say, this plane really isn't anything special in its ability factors. The turning ability and maneuverability of this plane is its biggest advantage, um, but it just does not have that payload that will make a big difference for people um, to use it as a common plane, which is a shame, really, because Japan really does seem to be lacking in vehicles sometimes, especially with the tank lines and things like that. They tend to be very poor off in their vehicles, mainly because a lot of their planes were decent, but they weren't the absolute best planes. Um, they were built on the cheap almost, and it does show in game because a lot of them feel very underpowered in that respect. Now we'll just repair here, and then we'll go back and see if we can actually take out any landing crafts with our guns. I'm using the universal belt here, I think, which is just a tracer, armor piercing, and adjustment incendiary bullet. But the rate of fire of this gun is so poor. The Type 97 machine guns are very slow firing, slow velocity machine guns, which really doesn't help things again for this plane. Now the P-51 over there is trying to basically win the game by the landing craft landing and for them to cap A, which I guess is a valid way of doing it, because none of the rest of our team seem to be chasing him down. But it is frustrating when you can lose a game because of that sort of aspect. We really need to attack the landing craft to win this, and it looks like the A6M3, the Zero over there, has been taken out. So let's see if we can get a landing craft with our rockets this time round. I still have my doubts. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Not much we can do, unfortunately, in this game. So I don't know if that's a change of the rocket mechanic in the game, or if that's just these rockets are pretty appalling. It'd be nice if we can get one kill at least with these piss poor guns. Fly straight into a cliff if we do that, though. The crew on that landing craft would be pretty dead by now, I think, especially the ones on the back that are getting peppered with machine gun rounds from the air, but not much we can do to actually damage the boats. Will we get a kill? Yes, we got a kill! Hooray! We finally got a kill with these terrible guns. Danger close to the water there. And as you can see, the rear gun is much faster fire. It's a faster firing gun, so you actually can do something with that at least. Okay, good news is the landing craft have been taken care of. So, we are going to land again. And I'm actually going to go over to the proper airfield this time, because that guy may well strafe us if we don't. We'll see how that goes. So all in all, not a bad game, this one for me. 2 vehicle kills and 4 assists in this thing. But as you can see, it's not an easy plane to get points in. You're very much at a disadvantage with this thing. It's a bit of a pig, in all honesty, a bit of a turd. I was hoping a little bit more from those rockets, in all honesty, but it seems like we have not got much from them. So we'll do a little pirouette here, turn her around. That P-51's coming in again. Will be a nice juicy target for him at least. Pretty bad landing there, but not too bad. It's relatively steady. Still going a bit sideways though. Hopefully our AAA will do something this round. And take him out before he takes us out. Good, good. There we go. He is down. And that is the mission 1 for us. A little bit sketchy there at the end. Not a great play by me, in all honesty, but we got a victory, so that's the main thing. So that's the end of the video. Enjoy the new patch, enjoy the new update, and I will make a proper video soon. As I say, I'm going to do a history of the Yokosuka D4y, the Susi, or Judy, in the near future, because it's a relatively interesting plane. As you can see here with the interface changes that I was talking about, I must admit I'm not a huge fan of them, but I will grow used to them, I'm sure. At least we get to unlock lots of things here, which is nice. Okay, let's just show you it on the ground. So this is the Susi, the D4y, and as you can see, no armor. X-ray wise, you've got the 2 low caliber machine guns at the front. You've got the 12-cylinder inline engine, based off of that of the BF-109 in the front. Fuel tanks there, not self-sealing of course, so you will catch fire very easily, but you do have this Type 92 machine gun, it says here, but actually it was a Type 1, which was a 7.9mm machine gun. Oddly enough, they had a 7.7 and a 7.9mm machine gun on this, just to make things interesting. It was actually based off of the German machine gun, at the time. The HO-103 machine gun and the HO-104 machine guns, but it was slightly higher caliber of a 7.9mm. So yeah, so that's interesting to see that they haven't actually employed that gun by the looks of it. The later version of, as I say, I will have a look at when I unlock everything, and I'll do the history of video for this as well. Looks like the 13mm is in the secondary version. There we go. So that's good. Yeah, so as you get this standard, you start with a 250 kilogram bomb. You can get the 250 kilogram bomb and the 60 kilogram bombs, and you also get the option of a 500 kilogram bomb. I think you're going to be better off taking the bombs, in all honesty, for using this plane, just because the rockets are so very, very weak. They're not worth using, in all honesty. Might have had a little bit more success if they were on contact fuses, but even so, I've been testing them out a little bit, and I've found you can't really kill much with them. I don't think you're going to kill any tanks with them either. You might kill some armoured vehicles though. So yeah, they're kind of a bit useless, in all honesty. Anyway, that's the end of the video, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you again soon. This is Screezler out. Bye bye.